I'm going to walk you through one of my favorite personality assessments to teach you some cool ways to actually learn to not only sell better, network better, but to have better communication skills altogether. So I'm going to take you through DISC, which is just a fun assessment, breaks everything down into these four quadrants. I just love using it. We're going to make it pretty simple. All right. So we're going to need a box. Inside that, we're gonna need 4 boxes. These across really quick. Love that they've upped this to makes it a hell of a lot better to do things. So in the top left quadrant, you have D, which equals dominant. Oops. The next one you have is I, which equals influence. Then you have which equals steady. That there. And then you have C, which equals compliance. I can't spell. So, dude, I'm gonna screw up so many spelling on this. It's not even funny. All right. So I like using celebrities, people that have extreme personality types to really help people figure this out. The first one, your high D's are someone like Trump, right? And when you're thinking about somebody like Trump, when we're looking at the positive side of things, and then we're also going to be looking at the negative side of things. And look, I'm not talking about Trump actually. I'm talking about personalities that are just like this. I'll go with negative first. So if you look at somebody like Trump, some of the traits that you'll see if somebody like a Donald Trump is you're going to see him and they have a huge ego. They don't care about people. They are aggressive. They are bold, right? So when you think about a lot of people do see people like a Trump, that personality as extremely much, very much like an asshole. Okay. But if you look at the positive side of things, what you're going to see is they are very assertive. They're massive risk takers. They get shit done. They are extremely goal driven. So we can think about it. There's a lot of people we can put in these categories that fit these personality types. That'll give you something to play off of. All right. So now if we come down to influence, I like using somebody like Robin Williams. He's my favorite one to use here, but you can also use Kevin Hart, Chris Rock, anybody that's that loud comedian type personality. They fit here really well. But if we look at the negative traits, for somebody like a Robin Williams, man, they're always on, right? They never turn off. They have to be center of attention. They are they've never met a stranger, right? So they're always talking. They're always freaking taking over the scene wherever they are. They're just the class clown. Cool. But if you look at the positive side of things, man, they're extremely outgoing. Never met a stranger. They are really care about people and they want to make sure everybody's having fun. Right. So these are some of the more positive things about your high eyes. Now, if we come over to the S's, my favorite person to use is Mother Teresa. I know she's a saint now, but it's Mother Teresa, right? She rocks. So if we do the same thing over here, positive, and then we go negative. It's the same thing here. So it's what I just like showing this. If we look at Mother Teresa, we'll start with her and then we'll come up to the high C's. On the negative side, they're easily taken advantage of because they always care about other people. They are not risk takers. They will fade into the fabric, right, man? So you won't even notice they're in the room. They are, yeah, they're obsessed with rules. But if you look at the positive things, man, it's always about others. And what I like about a lot of these, man, is they're good and bad. They want to make sure everybody participates. They want to make sure that everything is following the rules. They're all about the team, right? They are just amazing and good people. And I'm not even going to worry about freaking text, but y'all get it, right? On the positive side of things. Now, my favorite person to use up here on the C's is Sheldon Cooper, Big Bang. Okay. I just think the best one to use up here. So if you look at somebody like a Sheldon, if you look at the negative side of things, is they do not care about anyone. Everything is black and white. Rules. They're often seen as cold. uncaring, and everything is facts and figures. But if we look at the positive side of things, they are very calculated. They are going to follow steps to get things done. They are very strategic and very formulaic. Y'all can, I don't care how to spell it. These people are, you can picture them, right? So if we understand these are the four main personality types that we find out there in the marketplace, now we need to understand what's the point of it. First, we got to figure out where the hell do we fall, right? And so if you look at this, it give you a pretty good guess about where you would fall on this chart. And it's cool to know where you fall. But where I'm more fascinated about is what happens when, personalities talk to each other. So imagine Robin Williams trying to sell to Sheldon Cooper. How does that conversation go? It's a miserable conversation because they're going to be going back and forth, and a lot of things are going done. The same thing. Imagine Donald Trump trying to sell to a Mother Teresa. It's also not going to be good. What we have to do is we have to be able to identify really quickly who we're talking to, because true communication is about identifying who you're talking to and meeting them on their level. Okay. So it's literally, how do I identify somebody so I can talk to them? Because in a networking situation, a sales situation, it's not about them adjusting to us. It's about us adjusting to them. So when we think about it, if Robin Williams is going to sell to Sheldon Cooper, Robin's got to really slow down his pace. He's got to think more about the facts, the figures, the numbers. Same thing with Donald Trump going to sell to Mother Teresa. He's got to slow down the pace and make sure they're coming along for the ride and understanding what the words coming out of their mouth. And we talk a lot about teamwork and the like. Now, flip it. If Mother Teresa's telling the Trump, she's got to up her game, right? She's got to get more specific, more confident, and more deliverable in nature. And if Sheldon's got to sell to Robin Williams, he's got to up his pace and not worry so much about the details. And in knowing this, how we've got to adjust to be able to sell to these other personalities, there's got to be some quick ways that we can understand each of these people and what they look like. Your high Ds, they're very going to be very well put together. They're going to wear designer clothing. They're going to be, everything's proper. You're going to see a lot of high end jewelry and brand names and the likes. Your influencers, they're going to dress loud, comfortable most times, but a lot of things are going to have the colorful shoes. They're going to have things that get eyeballs on them. Your Sheldons, right? They're going to be more disheveled. They don't really care. So look at the guys with the comb overs, look for the women with the very straight hair, look for the gizmos and gadgets on their stuff because they pocket protectors and things like that, and the smartwatches and all that are real things when you're talking about a high C. And then your Mother Teresa's, man, they dress like your high school teachers. Okay, very loose, very, I want to say frumpy, but it's a good way of putting it. Or they're just really more down to earth. Then if you think about their offices, if you go into a high D's office, you're going to see it's very orderly, very put together with their accomplishments on the wall because they want you to see how awesome they are. If you go into a high I's office, you're going to see things of adventure, right? So it may be like whitewater rafting. It's going to be trips and vacations, but it's always going to be in a more party and a more light and a more about the experience. If you see a Mother Teresa's desk, it's going to have all the little tchotchkes all over the place, the squeeze balls, the stress balls, the spinning pins. It's going to be all family pictures and the likes. And if you get to a high C's desk, it's going to be shit everywhere. But as soon as you say, hey, I need XYZ report, they'll be able to pull and go straight to it. Okay. One of my favorite tactics when it comes to selling or figuring out these personalities, especially if you're on the phone, is to ask for directions. If you ask a high D for directions, they're going to say Google it or use Waze. If you ask a high I, they're going to give you the stories behind what you're going to be passing. You're going to pass the bar on the right, man. We had a great party, great time there. Right? It's going to be about the experiences. If you talk to a high C and ask them for direction, it's going to be detailed, step by step. Go 100 meters, get to the stop sign, take 25 steps to the left, right. It's going to be very detailed. And if you do Mother Teresa, they're likely just to come pick you up in their car and drive you to it. Or they're going to give you a step by step event. So the whole idea here is understanding where you are on this and where you fall on this. And there's tons of assessments you can go take for free with a quick Google search. But for me, this is more about being able to identify who you're talking to and meeting them on this level. I'm meeting them on their level and communicating to them how they want to be communicated with. This has helped me tremendously over the years, and it's been extremely valuable for me as I continue to grow Success Champion Networking, our B2B networking groups. I'd love to hear your takeaways in the notes or in the comments, or feel free to ask questions if you'd like me to dive into this a little bit further.